Alright, so I'm Josh Cantu, and I'm going to be explaining some of the causes of the American Revolution. Now, let's start with the end of the salutatory neglect. Now, with this, the salutatory neglect was a long-standing British unofficial policy that what it did was it pretty much let the 13 colonies control any laws associated with trade. Now, the British reversed this policy in order to raise taxes to help pay the debt that had been caused by the French and Indian War. Now, the seven years war, also referred to as the French and Indian War, was also one of the causes to the American Revolution. Now, this happened in 1754, I believe. It began when England declared war on France, and uh, it ended with the Treaty of Paris. Now, what the Treaty of Paris said was that Paris pretty much gave up Canada, and it also gave Louisiana to Spain. Now, this strengthened the colonies by pretty much removing any rivals that were surrounding them. Okay, so also the Proclamation of 1713 was another cause of the for the American Revolution. Now, this happened after the Seven Years' War. Now, what the proclamation said, what it did was that it set boundaries for where they could settle, like up to where they could settle. Yeah. Now, where the boundaries were along the Appalachian Mountain and the Mississippi River, I believe. Um, Now, the colonists, they were mad at this because they had put so much effort into the battle, into the war. So much blood had been spilled, so much energy wasted, and just to find out that they could not, move into that land. I agree. I'd be pretty pissed if that happened to me. Now, the another of the causes was the Parliamentary Revenue Acts. Now, these were introduced by the Chancellor of the Exchequer. I don't know how to say that. Charles Townshend. Now, what they were was it was a tax on glass, lead, paper, tea, and in the American colonies. Now, the colonists got mad at this because of taxation without any representation. Another of the causes was, of course, the Boston Massacre. Now, what happened here was that on March the 5th of 1770, um, British officials attacked a crowd and actually killed five of the colonists. Now, this was a peak tension, like a tension. It was pretty much the climax of like where everything was tense. Now, the Tea Act and the Boston Tea Party were also huge causes of the revolution. The Tea Acts, they came through on May 10, 1773. Now, what they did was that it granted monopoly on tea to on tea sales in the American colonies. Now, the colonists didn't like that, which eventually led to the Boston Tea Party. Now, the Tea Party what happened was that a group called the Sons of Liberty uh, on December 16th, 1773, they disguised themselves as Indians, and they got into the boats and actually dumped thousands of pounds of tea into the harbor. Now, another of the causes was the battles of Lexington and Concord. Now, this happened on April 19th, 1775. Soldiers were out to capture Sam Adams, John Hancock, among other leaders. And then after that, they were gonna go to Concord and seize some of the gunpowder and firearms that they possessed. Now, what happened first was that 70 Minutemen, which the Minutemen are, they were called that because they could be within wherever they needed them within minutes. Well, yeah, the first of about 70 Minutemen faced nearly 240 British soldiers, and of course the British won that part. They killed some of them, and well, yeah, they pretty much won that. But then as they were closing in on Concord, militias pretty much thwarted their plans on advancement, and they pretty much remained. They pretty much lost that. Now, uh, I'd say the final cause would be the Olive Branch petition. Now, this was pretty much the last attempt to avoid a war of independence against Britain. Now, this obviously did not work. It did not succeed. Did not succeed because of the king's arrogance. Now he just didn't accept it. Um, Now, do I believe that reconciliation would have been possible with the colonies? Um, I honestly don't believe it. There was just too many problems that didn't have a fix. Like they just they just couldn't. You know, there were so many things in the way of reconciliation, and it was pretty much impossible. Now, I hope you liked it, and like, comment, and subscribe.